Hi, I'm Gilbert Cruz, and I'm here with Darren Aronofsky, director of such films as The Wrestler, Requiem for a Dream, Pi, and this year's Black Swan. Darren, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Our first question is from Elise Cordo from Duluth, Minnesota. What was it about the world of ballet that appealed to you for this story?
Well, I think it's always interesting to go into worlds that people haven't seen before, and ballet is such a mystery. You know, you just sort of have a sense of what it is, but you know, like The Wrestler, where we went behind the curtain and showed a whole universe, we kind of wanted to do the same thing with ballet. And as soon as we went backstage, and you start to see that you know, that effortlessness that happens when you're watching ballet, it's actually filled with pain and blood and violence and competition and sweat. All that stuff started to get really interesting for us.
What kind of research did you do to get into the world of ballet?
We did a lot of research. It was very, very hard world to get into. Normally when you do a movie, all the doors open up. You know, you can go anywhere in the world and see any location, and people are always excited, you know, when you want to make a film. But the ballet world really couldn't care. It took many years to sort of get their trust and also to get their respect. I think, you know, they really wanted to make sure what the portrayal was. And so it took a while, and then slowly but surely a lot of the great people in the ballet world started to back us, and then suddenly doors started to open, and we were able to do a lot of research. But Natalie Portman in the film is surrounded by ballet dancers and real people in the ballet world throughout her training and throughout the making of the film.
You've discussed how difficult shooting Black Swan was due to budgetary constraints. Do you think a more expensive version of the film would have been any different than the current one?
It always is different. Well, as soon as you start messing with the money end of things, you suddenly get more time, and then time just changes everything, because it's all about how much you could get done in a day and how many days you have. So yeah, it would have been very different. I have no idea what the film would have been. You sort of, it always is that way. You know, Pi, which we did for $60,000, was, you know, we made it black and white. We made it what it was because of that limitation. And so every film is kind of constrained and constructed out of you know, how much money you have.
Our next question is from Caleb Garcia from Calabasas, California. In Black Swan and in your films in general, is it your aim to make the audience feel uncomfortable, to feel stressed out, to feel constantly on edge?
Well, I definitely want to make them feel something. You know, I think people are getting a lot of different things out of Black Swan. For me, the biggest compliment, the most people come out and they say it was fun. And that to me is kind of, I've never heard that before on one of my films, and that actually, maybe that's why it's doing so well here in America, because people are enjoying themselves. So, but you know, I'm definitely inspired from the Cyclone roller coaster in Coney Island where I grew up, which is the greatest ride in the world, and I've always tried to construct my films in the same structure, which is just intense on the edge seat. So if that's what someone's asking, I'm very happy that people are, you know, feeling.
What films have inspired you to become a director?
Well, you know, there's a lot of, you know, I grew up in the Spielberg, George Lucas era, so film was this incredible thing. But I think I always had a taste for alternative film, and so the filmmakers like Spike Lee and Jim Jarmusch and European filmmakers like Fellini and Kurosawa were big influences as well, and kind of expanded to me what film could be. Because I grew up, you know, very much on just normal Hollywood fare. But then there was also things like, you know, Kubrick's Clockwork Orange was playing at the Hip Theater in Greenwich Village, and we used to go and check that out. And Stop Making Sense by Jonathan Demme. So there were a lot of influences from different places.
What is the movie that made you finally realize that there was someone behind the camera who was calling the shots and made you want to do that same thing?
It was probably seeing Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It. Being from Brooklyn and just seeing something that I could understand that was very, very personal, but it seemed to be working on a international scale. Kind of gave me the idea that you can just tell a small story and connect with people all over the world. If you're a 7-year-old girl in Iran, or you know, 50-year-old guy in Australia, if it's a human story, it's human.
Well, Darren, thank you
Thank
for
you very much.
taking questions from Time Readers today.
Thank you. Thank you, Time World.